All right, good afternoon, probably more like good morning. YouTube channel is called The Advanced Knife Bro. But the purpose of this video is sharpening. Now, sharpening is tedious, and I've been trying to find time to get a video like this done where I kind of give an overview of my sharpening systems, but also go over the new WorkSharp sharpener. They sent me the new one for review, and I haven't gotten that done yet. But we're gonna sit here in the gloom of my house in midday. I finally have a quiet house to be able to do this. We're sitting at my kitchen table, and it's gonna be tedious, but tedium is my medium. I planned that one out ahead of time. Good thing I remembered it. I got my start sharpening with the Spyderco Sharp Maker. I did this video several years ago. It was my favorite sharpener. I thought I was gonna stop using it when I got the TS Prof, the Russian sharpener, or the WorkSharps, but I didn't. I still have a bunch of knives that I have touched up with the Spyderco Sharp Maker. When I go back to those, sometimes like setting up the whole sharpening system, setting the angle, that sucks, and I don't like doing it. But we have a few groups of sharpeners here though, just, you know, starting with my roots. So you have your good old-fashioned, I wouldn't call them systems. This is kind of a system because there's a few different angles of stones. But you have your pucks, you got your rods. These are sharpening stones of sorts. I don't have an axe on me right now. However, the idea behind the puck system is you know, those convex grinds, you kind of like, you pull at a consistent angle and it removes all the dings. These are kind of for your yard tools. You got a machete here. I sharpened this on the TS Prof, so that thing can handle some big blades. The rod may be a little bit more appropriate for this thing. It has a nice ring. You sound like some sort of murderer in the quiet of his house preparing for a murder. You have your pull-through sharpeners. I kind of hate pull-through sharpeners. This one here is a very popular. It's a Smith. You can find these pretty cheap. They're a few bucks. Basically, the idea is you take it and you pull through. You have a fine, which looks kind of like the fine stones on the Sharp Maker there, but you have steel and you have some sort of stone in there. And then you can, if you have any serrations, you can kind of pull them through the serrated blades. I don't have a lot of serrated blades to show you, but that's the idea there. I got some commentary on the channel like, what's wrong with pull sharpeners? You've probably seen a TikTok, you've probably seen a short where you're like, you don't need these expensive sharpening systems. Well, you don't if you're a good consistent sharpener. You could freehand it, but I mean with these, what angle is this? It doesn't generally say. It says coarse, it says fine, it says China. You don't really know what you're gonna get with this. I would prefer the Spyderco Sharp Maker. Those are like 70 or 80 bucks now. They're not cheap anymore, but you know, we don't live in a cheap world anymore. And then you have, these are stones too. This is a Harbor Freight special. These are diamond stones. You can buy the stone systems. You can buy flatbeds. This is my attempt at it years ago. I screwed up quite a few blades because I thought I was dragging a consistent angle over there, and I wasn't, and I scratched them up and wasn't paying attention. It is a very repetitive, you have to reset to that exact angle. It's an art, and not everyone can do it. I know the sharpening guys will drop under your video and like, I've been doing this for 50 years, and if you can't do it, you're a cuck. They don't say cuck, they would say whippersnapper or something like that. But you have to maintain the consistent, and you got the 400, the 600, the 200, and the 300. I said those out of order. But you can buy the flatbeds, you can buy the nice flat ceramics, you can buy the Arkansas stones. As a person who grew up in Arkansas, it's great that we have some knife shit named after us. But I don't really use this one anymore. This would be lawn tool. I see it on the shelf. I don't know where my other sharpening stuff is. So dumb sharpeners. You got your strops here, right? You got your gunny juice. I bought this. This is like $30 of gray liquid. It's got suspension and diamonds suspended in there like diamond dust. probably lab-grown diamond, not real diamond. It's not worth anything other than the amount they charge for it on Amazon. So stropping is like freehanding. Now everybody's like, my blade was dull. My blade was dull and all it needed was a little bit of stropping. It doesn't work like that for me. Nothing is ever as easy as that you see on the internet. You watch a video, you do a car repair, you change out your alternator. It takes me 2 hours. 6 hours. It takes a guy on YouTube 30 minutes. That's just the nature of the stuff online. A lot of people are pros, they prepare, they've done it quite a few times before they've shot the video. I haven't really spent a lot of time with the Work Sharp, and then I got a little new doodad for my TS Prof. So we're gonna see where that goes. But stropping is a little bit of an art too. You can dull a blade stropping. I know, you probably don't see that a lot. They're like, oh, well, stropping's easy. It'll whip and you do your the little straight razor guys with their the shaved sideburns. The guys, the modern barber, like the cool barber where you go and you get a shot of whiskey and you watch porno on the TV. Those guys, they're straight edges. They do your straight edge on your face. They strop them on these. Strop. You can strop knives and it is good to get stuff back into shape and to polish up that edge, but you do have to maintain a consistent angle when you do that. Otherwise, you will slowly dull your edge just like you slowly whip it back into shape. It works both ways with stropping. But it does clean up the edge, and if you're, especially carbon steels like these Great Eastern Cutleries here, you do a little stropping on there and that cleans that edge right up. And these are a fairly, I wouldn't call them a soft steel, but they're not a hard steel, so it's going to take you less time. And I feel like the carbon steels generally are a little more favorable, the steel and cleaning them up to stropping. But you spray your gunny juice on there and you maintain a consistent edge. We're going to move this BK9 out of the way. Got some knives here to sharpen, right? That's the idea. So you drag and you pull. You drag and you keep that consistent edge. And this blade is kind of dull, which is why I brought it out, because somebody said sharpen a Great Eastern Cutlery. So yeah, you don't hold it in your hand. You want a solid. I was going to do this on the back porch, but I decided this was an okay backdrop. Set a little blue lighting because I got the, hey Alexa, set the living room to red. If I want to worship Satan, or hey Alexa, or have a little romantic evening in by myself. Okay. Alexa, set the living room to green. She also controls my TV too and listens to everything I say. Hopefully they've collected some great metadata on me. I'm sure there's some real interesting stuff there. So you got your Great Eastern Cutlery, you can strop them. Spyderco Sharp Maker, if you haven't seen it before, I do have a video about this, and I would recommend you watch my videos, because that's why I do this, is I want people to watch the videos, even ones like this. So you have and this is the 40 degree. I generally use the 40 degree per edge side, and then this has only got about 1.5 inches of a blade here. It's a special bottle opener. It's a Dranken knife, and you hold it. The idea is to hold it on the whole, the edge there. You start out with the corners and you want it to be good and sharp before you move on to the next step. So you do until, it's reasonably sharp. Then you go to these sides. You spend less time on it now on each side because you've already sharpened it pretty well. And you and that's how it goes. And you move on to your ceramics, and you do the corners, although you could probably do the flat edges if you did a flat edge there, and and that polishes up the edge, kind of gets it a little more razor sharp depending on how consistent you are, because even there's inconsistency here if you're not a good sharpener. I've done that. You do, and then you flop them out flats, and then if you want a little more, they do make some, boy, what are these called? There's some diamond stones, and then there's another one. It's like boron, borax, something. There's a little more texture to these, and they take off more material. So if your blade's pretty dull, you may want to start setting an edge with your heavier stuff, and I need a glass of water. Showed you how to use the Spyderco. Now we're moving on to the sharpening systems. Now, the sharpening systems, I haven't paid for the strops. People sent me those, fans of the channel over the years. Don't know why anyone would watch, but there are people that do watch the videos. The strops were given to me. I bought the Harbor Freight. I bought the Spyderco Sharp Maker. Systems were all sent to me for review and long-term testing. And my first system that was sent to me was the TS Prof, right? This monstrosity right here. It's heavy. It's heavy. It weighs several pounds. And basically the idea is you pop out your little sharpening plates here. You start out with the you start out with the more abrasive, the lower count numbers, and you move up to the higher numbers, which is the finer. So like 100 to 1,000. 1,000's fine, 100's coarse. This is a F150, like the pickup, and it is a coarser. It is extra coarse. So you want to start out with one of these. Now, you have seen my video, and I will probably throw some B-roll in here because who wants to see this face for, is this going to be 30 minutes? Is this going to be 45 minutes? I don't know. It's going to be miserable long form content for, you know, everybody that watches the short form bullshit on the Reels and the TikTok now. And, you know, that's just how it is. One or two little minor things. This ball thing came off. I Gorilla Glued it back on a while back. I have sharpened several machetes with it. This can handle, this machete right here, I have sharpened with the TS Prof. And it's a heavy unit, and it can handle machetes. It can handle fixed blades, and it can handle smaller stuff too. I was recently, we're gonna go with our, I was recently sent this by a guy named, well, his name isn't Liquid Retro, but he sent me this little 3D printed, it's got some brass screws in here, and the idea is, you know, when you sharpen with this guy right here, these, if you're sharpening a smaller knife and you want a more centrally held blade, this is going to give you, it's going to bring these two in to get you closer to the center. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Hopefully I can figure out where I put my little wrench. Found it. Alexa, set the living room to a blue.
I don't know how to set living room to that.
Fuck you. Alexa, set the living room to blue. I just have some Wi-Fi lights up there. That's all there is to that. Okay. So what you do here is you basically, god damn it, you drop your screws. You drop your screws. We're gonna do some re-editing here of this. You know, like a content creator will tell you that everyone loves the outtakes. They think everyone loves the outtakes, and they make these long ass videos, and no one really likes them but them, you know? So the director's cut, you know, the director's cut is a long lost art. There's no such thing as a director's cut anymore. It's always extra footage that made the movie longer. And that's what this is here. And my voice is starting to crack. I generally record in the early mornings of the, you know how hard it is to screw and talk at the same time. So Liquid Retro's little Allen key, he sends you the blue thing and he sends you 2 screws. I think he's revised this a little bit, so I think it's black now or something. He sends you 2 screws. It's also the same Allen key that fits the top here, so you only have to have one sitting around, maybe. And then once you do that, that thing always falls. You can hook it up there, but it doesn't matter how many times you hook it up there, it's still gonna fall. You screw those into the center, and then you put this here. These, there's the little brass screw holes. Little brass screw holes there. We're gonna do this. Now this is a little more friendly to that. Your guy in there like that. You gotta put your guy in there like you're talking about your sharpening your peen. That would hurt. I don't know, it's about center, right? You want that to center of the blade. And the idea is, I have not set my sharpening angle, but you're gonna, and I realize that this hasn't been oiled in a little bit. You want to oil your rod every now and then. Fuck, good thing there's nobody below me. It was a sharp ass knife. So your Klein tool, you got you set your angle, and I show you how to do it in this video, but I'm not going to show you right now. You got your Klein tool. It is magnetic. The new Work Sharp comes with one of these, and I've already forgotten how to use it, but there's a video for that on the internet. You know about the TS Prof. I uploaded 2 videos of this. One is the unedited sharpening thing, and the other is more the review. So the Work Sharp. Now, this is the Work Sharp. Man, what do we call this guy? What is this doing in there? It's, Work Sharp is you know, there's metal. It's a good portion of it, like the frame is plastic. It is not very heavy. It's designed for your smaller pocket knives. You're talking your lightweight stuff. You know, I'm sure you're here to see this bad boy. The Espada XL. You know, this is not going to hold your Espada XL. It's not going to sharpen it. The Espada weighs probably as much as it. This actually weighs a little more, but for comedic purposes, I have the Shakes. This is not. Can you see in the B-roll over here? This is not meant for this. This is, you know, you may be able to devise a system. There's probably plates you can buy. There are aftermarket things for this right here, but I don't have those. And then you know, let's put this murder weapon away. This is I don't know how heavy this knife is. This is pushing it. You could probably sharpen, but a 4 and whatever change blade knife, and it'll hold that. And then you put your this is magnetic. Everything kind of slides together. You don't want to do that one because that's the stropper. I don't know why I put a long O on that. You set your angle with one of these things right here, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You want a 20-inch. So Spyderco SharpMaker does a 40 inclusive, and the way the math works on there, and I had to look it up. It doesn't make any sense to me. Spyderco SharpMaker, the V is 40. I think it's like that's 20 and that's 20 and 20 and 20 is 40. Simple math. But the Spyderco does it that way. Most other sharpening systems do the 20 degree. So 40 on the Spyderco SharpMaker is a 20 on here, and yeah, you know, this is a very good sharpener. I think these run about 150. You're going to get more fine tuning than you do over the SharpMaker. You got a lot of stuff here, so this is definitely better than this. But like I said, I've been using this for a few years. A lot of my knives match this angle right here. If I'm setting new edges or I'm doing a full sharpening job, you want to move to a system. You can almost do this with your eyes closed. It's a good thing to do. Sharpen with your eyes closed. And you okie dokie. Out of the way, sharpening systems. Now we're getting to the thing that prompted me to write this, to do this video. As a knife channel with a little bit of a following, not a big following. There's a lot bigger channels. All the other channels pass me up. But they send me stuff like this to take a look at, to feature on my channel. And I don't take money for that, but I will hold on to these for long-term stuff and keep them. And if somebody ever wants me to send it back, I will. Fully used, of course. I don't know why this is still here. So we got our Work Sharp. This is the new big boy. These, they've been hard to get in stock. I've had this for probably about 2 months now. If I would have put out a video a long time ago, everybody would have been mad because I saw people mad on the internet about it. They're like, why haven't you built enough of these? You need to. A little bit of a technical problem, and the technical problem is my microphone ran out of batteries, and I wasn't looking at my VU meter over there on my camera, and so I lost a little bit of time where I'm setting up, and hopefully I'm going to do like show you me doing this, and I'm going to be moving my mouth, and nothing's going to be coming out. It's not going to match up. So, but basically, the idea is this is a heavier duty model of of this guy. These are quite a bit different in size. This is much heavier than this. They're about as easy to set up. You have a few extra screws on the Proficision, but this is, this is very close to the weight of the TS Prof. The only thing that I could see that the TS Prof would be better is longer blades, because this has got one clamp for the center. The other one, you can sharpen machetes on there, but as far as like your fixed blades, your Hunglases, your BK9s, which remember fell on the floor earlier. Could have cut something. This will work well for your BK9s. Remember you loosen it, you press here, and then we're loose. We're not tight, we're loose here. Gotta loosen this F word up. Put it about in the center, and then tighten the shit out of it. So this is gonna hold your big knife well. So this is, one of the other things too is if you really want to get into it, you can mount this to a heavier table. You're a lead farmer, you got a lot of lead laying around. I made this joke earlier, but I had no audio. You collect the lead, you got lead plates, or you got iron, maybe you're a welder. I don't know. You got some heavy, you can build, mount this to something. You can easily remove this by pressing down the red lever, closing it. And that's all there is to that there. Now you can set your angles. You got better angle selection. Remember, we have a whole bunch we have 220, we have 320, we have 400. I made a 420 joke earlier because they are from the Pacific Northwest. And it wasn't funny then either, and it's not funny now, but they got a 400, so 220, 300, 320, 400, 600, 800. You got your honer, which is your ceramic stone, and then you got your strop, so a little bit of green compound on there. Add more green if you ever run out of green. So you got, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stones. 7 stones of sorts. There's that too. You got a little lever back there. And then you can flippity floop. And then you can, look at that. That's amazing. And you can sharpen your big knives. You got a Hunglas, you got a Becker BK9. You got just about anything that your little heart desires you can sharpen with this. You could probably sharpen the machete too, right? The machete probably has a thinner blade stock. It's gonna be hard to turn, ain't gonna lie, but I wonder, that doesn't seem very, there's too much of this area, so it's gonna give it a little bit of, so, your machetes, you want a big tough metal clamp like the TS Prof, and that's not even the biggest TS Prof, but your Becker is gonna work, and you got these rubber guys in here, and it allows you to go back, I don't know, half an inch or so. This much, you get this much of spine you can put in there. See, I'm gonna zoom in here. I could have a ruler around, but I've had so many setbacks now. Ran out of batteries and several things. My B cameras now, DEAD. So what we're gonna do here is we are gonna sharpen a knife, okay? We've done enough talking. This video's long. We're gonna go with we're gonna go 400. So this is metal. There's magnets. You could even do that if you wanted, but it's not gonna stay up there. You put this in, there's little studs there, and you just kind of make sure that you hear a little snappity-dap. Wonder if those will wear out over time, those little studs there, but there's a magnet, maybe, there's little plastic guys. Looks like that is replaceable. You could replace those. I would like that to be metal there to attach, but we'll see how long term that works. But you're doing this, you're sanding the thing. You can put your blade, your stone up there while you're setting your stuff up. We got the Spyderco Endura 4. It's a classic. I got 2 of these. This is my first decent knife. It's still a pretty decent knife. So tighten it up, and I will always love you. Now I don't have the manual there, but they have a manual online. So here's what you do. You zero. You got your thing here, and you turn it on. So what you do is you zero it out on your table here. My table says 0. You zero it out, you hit the 0 button. There's only 2 buttons on here. Power, wait for it to turn on, 0, and then it zeroes out. And you move your little rubber gasket so it sits flat, and there's a little groove there. I'm gonna put this at the 20 degree, and that, honestly, this table must be pretty level. And it fucking turned off. So we are hitting 20 degrees, which is the bottom of the 20 mark. That's pretty good, right? I think so. So we're at 20 degrees. That's what we want. We take it off. 20 degrees is what my Spyderco Sharp Maker was. And then I'm gonna move this camera closer so you can see me sharpen it, and you're gonna see a bunch of shit that I have piled up here, but you're gonna ignore it because I'm gonna clean up my mess after I'm done. All right, check 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so basically the idea is we're gonna sand it. Now, when you do your finishing strokes or you go to your higher abrasives, you want to just do one of these because it's gonna make the edge a little bit nicer. This is not very sharp as of right now. As you can see, this is cardboard, so it's going to be a little easier to cut, but let's look at my white balancing paper. It's not very sharp. I'm not cutting myself by doing that. So again, you're going to start out, I'm starting with a 400. This does not need a completely reset edge. It's just not sharp, and I like this knife and I want to make it sharper. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go like this. We're going to feel for our burr. We're going to flip flop it. We're going to feel for our burr on the other side, and then we're going to move on to some higher stones, but we're going to do single strokes, and we're not going to do the sawing action. It'll finish the edge a little bit nicer. Okay, here we go. So this is VG10. VG10, as you know, is a little bit harder of a steel. It's not going to be your carbon steel, but I'm not feeling a burr yet. Maybe I should switch to the. Be a little more careful on your edge. You don't want to round the tip. Now you could do the Sharpie trick. kind of see where you're hitting on your edge there. And let's see where I'm hitting. Let it dry. Looks like I'm not quite hitting that edge yet. I'm not really feeling a burr. Table's not super stable. More stable than my backyard card table though, which I did all my other videos on. Some people will tell you to only stroke that way, and you could do that, but I don't have the patience or time for that. This is not relaxing, it's not easy. This is me getting a video done, not me enjoying myself all day long on a weekend. You know what? I'm gonna flop a little bit more abrasive one on here. We're gonna go with 220. I don't have the time for this. We're doing a 220 now. Yeah, we're getting a nice burr now. A little more there. Okay, now we're gonna even it. We're gonna try to do the same amount of strokes instead of concentrating on one area. And then hopefully we'll feel a consistent burr. And we do. So what we do is we pop our stone up top there. We lean it back. We click it, and then we flip-flop it. And then we pull it back. Very, very, very nice. All right, we got a burr. We're gonna get a consistent edge on this side now. Sometimes you wanna do this a little closer to the edge so you're not rounding the tip. Let's see where we're hitting here. I don't know where I'm hitting. There's a lot of shavings now, and I don't know if it's shavings or if it's a burr. Yeah, we're not even hitting close to the edge, so we got a ways to go on this side. See what the edge is doing. See, this is looking nicer now, but I think we're getting pretty close to the edge there. It's nice to have a little bit of oil in a rag. I don't have a oil here, but feeling a burr right there. Once we get a burr on both sides and I go back and I remove the burr that I've got on this side, it'll be very easy because I've already set the edge on the other side. And then it's gonna take a lot less time now. There's a burr there. I've done a lot of work there. Not up here though. Get a nice burr. Okay, reset, flop back, click, 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 and we are going to take it easy now. Because we're basically removing a burr at this point. You can hear it's pretty abrasive right now. Probably could have moved on to another stone, but we're getting the burr that side. All right, so we're taking off too much material now. We're gonna move to or I don't wanna do the 800, we're gonna go with the 600. Come on. We got our burr on that side, so we flop, we flop, we flop, and we're careful now, all right? We're only gonna get a little bit of a burr now. We're starting to do the strokes like this. Still got sound, I do. Okay, we're gonna do some cleaning up that edge, making it a little more even looking. Not as much grinding sound. We also have there's stone. We're gonna go to 800 now. I'm feeling pretty comfortable there. Some people may want to work on the edge a little longer. I'm not a splitting my hairs type guy. We're gonna flop, flop, flop. This is a pretty nice system. That sounds like a burr to me. Consistent burr, very easy. Okay, I want to almost move up to the, we're just knocking a little bit of a burr off. I want to move to the ceramic now. That's what I'm going to do. Going ceramic. I don't think I'm going to get to the stropping stage today. I don't give a shit. It's a working knife, so I'm going to work on this a little longer. I want to get that edge a little cleaner looking. It's a little sandpapery looking right now. I kind of want to shine it up a little bit. So this is a good way to do that. You can hear it's not taking on it near as much material as it used to. So we're getting burrs pretty quick. I think I've set this edge pretty, you know, Spyderco originally set these. I feel like they set most of their knives to like something close to the sharp maker. So it would have probably been up close to a 20 to begin with, or the 40 on their sharpener. The thing is, I'm spending a little more time, I think, than I have to on this side, but I'm trying to get that edge a little shinier and a little more consistent across. How about I move my shit out of the way? Okay. Now, the more time you spend, the cleaner that edge is going to look, because this is close to, it's not polishing, but it's cleaning it up. It's giving you a little smoother factory looking edge. If you just stick to the lower sandpapers, it's not going to look perfect. You're not going to get that mirror edge that you see on the knife channels, the sharpening channels. And that's not something I'm really interested in, honestly. Maybe I'll hit the strop, I don't know. Oh yeah, this right here, this is what I haven't been doing. This gives your, so this is gonna stabilize the shit a little bit better. And I didn't do that. You know, that's on me. This is what you get when you send this fucking shit to this channel. Son of a bitch. You get that. That's what you get. A little bit of an annoyance. Make sure I get some metal shavings in there. That is looking pretty good. All right, let's see what this does. Okay. Oh, this is way better. You also want to finish probably it up with a little bit of a That's a lot better than it was. That's pretty good. It's good enough for me. Okay. We're going to zoom back out. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up. Here are all the sharpening systems that I have laid out here. Your TS Prof, this is for your bigger machetes. You have jaws that can clamp a much taller blade. So if you're sharpening fixed blades, you're good with this. But if you want something that can handle a lot of stuff, they make bigger ones that are more expensive than this, but the TS Prof Cadet. And then your medium one, this is a little bit cheaper. This is about $300, this is about $450, depending on the options. Remember, this has that special liquid retro. There's a link in the description below to get that part, to make your system a little more flexible for smaller stuff, so you can hold it in the center there. This guy though, this is pretty awesome. It improves upon this one quite a bit. It's heavier duty. You can sharpen your big fixed blades with this, you really can on here. Your standard pocket knives. The jaws are a little, you know, they're not as flexible as this, but this is just straight on aluminum that allows you to clamp onto it. It comes with a lot of stones. You can replace the stones. It's mostly metal. There's some plastic accents on here, but it's heavy duty. You can clamp it to a table. No fear about clamping it to a table because it has this. There are other things you can do with it. You can sharpen your little pen knives if you want to. There's devices that come with that. It's a lot more stable than the prior one. Heavy duty, pretty much all knives are going to be able to be done with this one. However, the $129 for this guy is pretty good, you know. You can sharpen most of your pocket knives as long as you're not getting into the cold steel murder porn weapons with this guy. This is in the way, I've noticed, and that sucks. Then you have your Spyderco Sharp Maker. This is about $70, you know, $70, $130, $300, $450. These are kind of expensive now. They only come with ceramics and the gray stones, which if you get several stones is going to run you to about where you are at this one. This is pretty simple. You can sharpen pretty big knives with this too, probably more flexibility on sharpening sizes than with this one because you can tediously pull and with this guy and you can take these out and you can sharpen your kukris with those, so that's pretty cool too. Your old school sharpening, you got your pucks, you got your rods. It's just gray sharpening stones and, you know, machetes. You got your flatbeds. If I had to pick one, unfortunately, it's going to be this one. This is pretty cool. I still like how quick this sets up, you know. Maybe if I hadn't had this one for so long, I probably wouldn't want this one. And, you know, you got your straps. I am not the world's best sharpener. You are not going to learn lots of sharpening tips from me. There are other people that are better. I don't have the patience, I don't have the time, and I don't have the years of technique. Anyway, that about does it. This has been a long video. Don't know if I'm going to break it up into this and then an overview or what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do 2 videos. So like, subscribe, comment, say hi to the patrons. We've done an updated patron page at the back here. For years, I've just been adding people. These are the core people. Thank you. You guys help pay for my camera gear, all my AV equipment and stuff like that. And sometimes I buy myself little treats too, but I appreciate that. Anyway, thanks for watching. You got 4 videos here. Oh man.